What secret is okay acceptable to keep from a partner in a marriage? Gifts you have gotten them or are going to get them. Something that will ruin a lovely surprise if they hate surprises, then spoil it and let them know they need to be surprised. The secrets of friends or family, unless they will impact your relationship negatively. Details about previous partners, like secrets, insecurities, and stuff like that. And I'm sure there are other things too, but I don't think there should be a lot of secrets in a relationship, but some are okay, and other things don't need to be mentioned even though they aren't really secrets. Your other friend's secrets. When a buddy of mine's partner started talking about something I explicitly said not to share with anyone, I had to reevaluate what I would share with him in the future. Part of me kinda expects their spouse to know what I've told them, but when you know your spouse is a gossip, don't expect me to ever open up to you again, especially if I've already told you to keep it a secret. I met a woman who I think is possibly my soulmate before me and my wife got married. I love my wife and our baby we have together, but would never tell her about that other woman. What would someone do with such information? I didn't cheat on my wife with my possible soulmate, I just seemed to connect with her in a way that I've never had with another human in my life. I no longer talk to my soulmate either. Stopped right before I got married. But sometimes I look through our text messages together and remember the times about her. Depends on the relationship. It's whatever is agreed upon by both parties. There is no rule book. Things need to be defined most of the time or shit will get real. A couples counselor I knew said this always causes issues. Well, of course you can't, everyone knows in a marriage you can't. But it's bullshit. There is no rule book. Figure it out and talk it to death. What is cheating? Is dancing? What about a foot rub? What about nude images? Porn? Strippers? Rub and tugs? Late night texting? Discuss it in depth. Any secret that you don't mind getting out eventually. Think time-based. Would letting this secret slip right now be bad? Okay, but would letting the secret slip in 6 months be okay? If not, spill. Nobody can keep a secret forever, and imagine what you might say out loud while drunk, or stoned, or in the ICU. If the secret sucks no matter when it's found out, tell your partner one day immediately after breakfast. Everybody's well rested, everybody's fed, nobody's hangry. Your other friend's secrets. When a buddy of mine's partner started talking about something I explicitly said not to share with anyone, I had to reevaluate what I would share with him in the future. Part of me kinda expects their spouse to know what I've told them, but when you know your spouse is a gossip, don't expect me to ever open up to you again, especially if I've already told you to keep it a secret. How much I actually spend on the kids at Target. Now, we have separate accounts. My money is mine. His is his. Our bills are paid. But I can already hear the groaning he'd do if I admitted that every single thing I got was full price and not a good deal. Simply saying don't worry, it wasn't that much. Seems to be our best bet. How many previous sexual partners you've had before them? It's not their business to know absolutely everything about you, and can lead to some unhappiness in some situations, like if you've had more than they suspected, or more than they've had. Leave the past in the past and proceed from where you are right now. I kept from my fiancé that his best friend was coming home from the Navy to surprise him for the holiday, and that made me feel icky even though it was for a good reason. Friend texted me asking about his holiday hours, and then he said he'd be seeing me soon and to keep my big mouth shut about it. Lol. Anything a friend tells me in confidence that has nothing to do with myself, my partner, or our relationship. For example, if a friend told me they were having medical issues, but didn't want anyone else to know. It isn't my business who gets to know, and it isn't something that involves my partner. Secret is such a loaded word. Secrets are often bad, or they're something that, in reality, should be told, but there are a ton of things that are totally acceptable to not tell your partner. In fact, it's healthy to have a private life apart from your partner. Not everything has to be shared. That I didn't actually play a good round of golf, it was total shit. I hooked 90% of my drives. 4-putted half the greens, lost 10 balls, and swore I'd never play this stupid sport again. All she needs to know is it was good and I'd like to go again next weekend. Please. Other people's. If I tell my mate something personal in private, I shouldn't be hearing about it from his wife a week later. There's a difference between keeping no secrets from your spouse and foregoing any loyalty or confidentiality you hold to your friends. My wife has sucked over 20 unique dicks before we met, an unfortunate fact to be sure. I would have paid her to never tell me that one thing and just assume her uniquely high-quality blowjobs were a genetics gift from her mom's side of the family. Realistically, none is anything but the most mundane things will have zero impact if kept secret. If it's not something silly like how much candy you eat while at work or something, it's probably just large enough that it shouldn't be a secret. Me and my spouse both have careers involving protected information, so we keep a lot about our workdays private. I know people have kept childhood trauma to themselves and didn't want their partners to know. I think that's fair. Your porn preferences. At best, they'll feel pressure to perform some of those things when, sometimes, you aren't really interested in doing those things, you just like looking at it. That might lead to some feelings of inadequacy. Secrets that affect them in no way. Secrets that you keep from everyone but aren't bad person secrets. I'm a firm believer in everyone has secrets. Just don't go sneaking around with someone else or something scuzzy like that. I witnessed my son walking for the first time about a month before she saw him walk. She was struggling with postpartum depression and upset she wasn't the mom she wanted to be. I'm taking that one to the grave. I discovered today my best friend Em is dating a male to female trans. I'm not sure if he knows. I doubt so. For those who had a vaginoplasty or saw some Google image didn't help me today. Is it obvious? I was given shit in another sub when I said I'd never told my husband any details of the horrible bullying I experienced in school. I'm not comfortable divulging that, and it isn't something he needs to know. I've been married for 30 years, and I'll let you know when there's something. I've even told her I love another woman. There is nothing sexual. We share some emotional issues that my wife can't relate to. If someone talks shit about them, your family, friends, you don't need to tell them. You can stand up for them and leave it at that. I don't need to hear every thought my mail has about our wedding. If someone talks shit about them, your family, friends, you don't need to tell them. You can stand up for them and leave it at that. I don't need to hear every thought my mail has about our wedding. That someone you dated in the past was better than your current partner in some way. If the other person was smarter or better in bed or funnier or whatever, don't fucking ever say it. Ever. What you do at Area 51. For the record, if you happen to be working on a UFO and need a second pair of eyes, I know how to keep my mouth shut. You'll get to tell all podcast shares for me. Other people's secrets, anything they would prefer not to know, and anything you want private that isn't a betrayal or would deeply affect their view of you, the relationship. I've been playing Mario Kart 200cc by myself for a few years now. I'm really good. My husband beats me all the time, but it's usually because I let him. It's my deathbed secret. The contents of your father-in-law's sexy time drawer on clearing the house. My wife did this for me recently and I'm super grateful that she'll take that secret to the grave. I taught our toddler 2.5 years old how to unlock her phone 4-digit PIN, and she was so happy that he managed to sneakily memorize her PIN from random moments throughout the day. It's really okay not to talk about every particle of your past. Some things need to be left behind and never spoken of again. Don't ruin the image they have of you. I don't know if this is acceptable or not, but I have kept some financial issues to myself as not to stress out my wife. I tell her after the fact though. If you ever slept with their mom or dad years before meeting them, there is no coming back from telling them in any situation. I'm 100 serious. How many people you have slept with and most details of your past sex life. That's between you, the person you fucked, and the ancestors, aka God. Medical diagnosis of close friends that want it secret. You can say so told me some news but wants it quiet, but that is it. Don't gossip. I don't need to know if you hooked up with one of our mutual friends before we got together. Both of you take that secret to the grave, please. According to Leo Tolstoy's wife, detailed accounts of the many times you cheated on her with one of your serfs and knowingly gave her an STD. What you're reading generally. My spouse does not need to know I read stupid romance and fairy books. He just knows I love to read fiction. Sometimes I get a soda and candied nuts on the way home from work and just chill in a Trader Joe's parking lot and listen to my audiobook. Fast food pit stops without them, or watching a show without them and pretending like you haven't seen it yet while watching it with them. None. Why not just be completely honest and open with your spouse? While I or hide things. What's the point of such a commitment then? My husband has no idea how many times I eat a cheeseburger on the way home from work. That's the only acceptable secret to keep. An emergency gift stash for when the partner has a bad day. My emergency stash for my wife is mostly chocolate. A small enough amount of money that if shit ever hit the fan and you split up, you're alright for a few months. Bed winnings as long as you're not an addict and blowing money. Cash spiffs from job. Additional cash savings. A therapist told me any secret is okay as long as it doesn't and will not affect the relationship in any way. A family secret that no good can come from it since the accused person is dead. Would never know the truth. What partner was best in bed, had the best dictates, Anything they can't realistically change or control. The general rule is if the secret is being kept for their benefit and not for yours, it's okay to keep it. The fact that he has a small flat doesn't need to know what parts of him I find unattractive. The size and nature of your bowel movements. Please, if you are my husband reading this, honey, please know. Yeah, let us tell you so you have something to blackmail us. These threads are always a dumb idea. Anything needlessly harming your partner. I think I'd extend it to terminal illnesses as well. Abuse, trauma that happened to you. It'll be up to you to share that once you feel comfortable. Other people's secrets, ones that aren't yours to tell and don't impact you or your partner, that you prematurely threw out. If my husband is reading this. No, you didn't. That sometimes when I say I'm working late, I'm actually going to play softball. When our family is talking badly about them, it hurts my feelings in a measurable amount. Things that were told to you in strict confidence that don't relate to your partner. The only acceptable secret is that you sit on Reddit and answer such questions. Lol. I don't discuss my lingerie shopping with him. I keep it secret to surprise him. It's just never find up, and after all these years, I'm not sure it ever will. Secrets from before meeting that are irrelevant to the relationship at hand. I'd say any. You're entitled to your privacy. I keep tons of shit to myself. Spoilers for a show you have watched before, but are rewatching with them. Pretty much anything you do in the bathroom. Just clean up after yourself. If you went off to have a cheeky takeaway or snack without telling them. Passwords. Personally, I have the same password for a lot of websites, gifts, surprise parties, and how you really feel about their family. Your side chick. No need to tell her. It would only piss her off.